Stephanie, I just want to make you a little video to go over a couple of things about this stent, and you may not need to know this at all because I know you've done this before, but just as a little refresher if you want to watch it, I just thought I'd put this together for you. So I just wanted to tell you first, when you get it out of the package, there's this big long plastic sheath, and so of course we've got to take all that off. So we just pull it all the way out and take this off, and of course that just goes to the side. That is trash. Second thing that I want to point out to you, there's a red safety here on our Evolution biliary stent, so you're going to want to pull that out, and of course that gets thrown away. Now that allows me to be able to operate my trigger handle. Sometimes when the stent comes in the package, this button may not be flush, so if I'm right-handed, of course I'm holding it with my right hand just like this, and so we want this button on this side of it to be flush, so flat, because that's going to tell us that that's the forward direction of the stent. So just make sure if you're holding it in your right hand that it's flat like that, because sometimes it'll come in the package a little bit pushed out, and so you don't want that. So just make sure that it's flat, and then that way you'll know that you'll be ready to go and to deploy the stent when you're ready to, when you want to. So I want to point out a couple of things about this itself, the stent itself. So number one thing, of course, we're going over the wire, so you're going to backload it over the wire right through here just like normal. But if you can see this, this is where your wire is going to exit. I hope I can get this close enough where you can see it. So that is there's a little purple zip port right there, and if you can see, there's a tiny hole. That is where your wire comes out, right there. So you're going to lock the wire with your wire lock right at that point too, but that's where your wire enters here and it exits right here at this little purple area, which is our zip port. So I just want to make sure that you know that. And then as you're introducing the stent down the scope, when this part is at your accessory channel, that's where you'll lock it right there too. So looking at the stent itself too, I want to point out something else to you. There's a yellow endoscopic marker right here. Do you see this yellow part? And that tells us where the proximal end of the stent is going to wind up. So we keep our eye on this yellow endoscopic marker, and we want to keep that about 1 centimeter away from the papilla, because the stent is, right now it's in the catheter, so it's the area where my fingers are showing you right now, it's stretched out. So when it's deployed, it's going to foreshorten. It's going to, shorten up just about 30%. So that's why we have this yellow endoscopic marker here to tell us where the proximal end of this stent is going to wind up. So we want to keep our eye on this, and we want to hold this 1 centimeter outside the papilla, and that way we'll make sure that the stent goes across our stricture. So as the stent is opening up and deploying, of course, the doctor will be given backwards tension on the catheter, so pulling back a little bit because the stent itself will be moving forward. So that's why you have to keep your eye on this yellow part right here and make sure that the backwards tension matches the forward motion of the stent itself, and that way it'll be positioned into the right place. So as you're deploying, of course, and you know this part already, but you just squeeze the trigger, and then that's gonna release the stent. As you can see, it's starting to open up here. You can see, maybe I'll put it on the white background so you can see a little bit better. But the stent is opening, and as it's opening, I'm squeezing the trigger here, of course with my hand, be that way, but there's a red indicator mark right here at the top, and as long as that red indicator is in the green or the white area, I could recapture my stent and reposition it if I wanted to. And if I wanted to do that, of course, what I do is I just push, it's just like a drill, I just push this directional button the opposite way. So if it's flat on this side, then I can recapture my stent just like this. And you can see the stent is starting to recapture, and then my red indicator right here is moving backwards, and so my stent gets recaptured. As long as my red indicator is in the green area or the white area, I can recapture it. The red area is the point of no return. So on the stent itself, on the catheter, not the stent itself, but on the catheter, there's 4 radiopaque markers. You're going to have 2 here at this distal end, and then 2 here at this proximal end. And the one at the very distal end, the first one, is going to move down as the stent opens up. So you'll see when this radiopaque marker inside the catheter moves to the third radiopaque marker on the distal tip, that is also your point of no return. So you'll be able to see the point of no return on the fluoro screen, as well as you can watch when this red indicator mark gets to the red point. That is also the point of no return, but you can see it by watching the radiopaque markers inside the stent catheter as well. So when you get to the point of no return right here, and you're sure that you don't want to recapture or reposition it anywhere, don't forget to pull your red safety, and that's what this is right here. So it's just a little twist. You're just going to twist it and then pull it completely off. I'm not going to pull this one because I'm using it for demo again, but this just gets pulled completely out, and that is your safety wire. Now, if you forget to do this, you can't deploy the stent, so don't forget to do this. Once it's here, you say point of no return. Are we happy with the placement? Yes, we are. Boom, we untwist this, we pull out this red safety wire, it gets thrown away, and then we can finish deploying the stent, and this red indicator mark will keep moving all the way down as the stent gets completely deployed, and as I'm watching my yellow endoscopic marker, making sure that that stays in the exact place that I want it to be, 1 centimeter right outside the papilla, and the doctor will be giving just gentle tension, backwards tension on the catheter, because of course the stent itself will be moving this way, so catheter has got to be moving a little bit that way just to keep this yellow marker in the place that we want it to be. So those are just my tips with Evolution Biliary. It's a great stent. It's easy to use. This gun mechanism makes it so simple, and you just get really precise placement with it. You're not going to have a stent jumping around. You're going to know exactly where it's going to wind up. And I know that it'll be a success for you. If you have any more questions, please give me a call, and I'll be looking forward to finding out how it worked and how the procedure went. But don't forget about your zip port here where we lock our wire, and don't forget to pull off the red safety that was right here, and then don't forget about your safety wire that comes out right here once we're happy with our placement and the point of no return. So those are all my tips. Thanks, Stephanie. Bye-bye.